Well, thank you, Speaker Pelosi, for joining us. And congratulations for being a part of this illustrious group of women that we are celebrating.
Thank you for the initiative to recognize the value of women.
Yes, I think women over 50 are kind of having a moment. There's a lot of us. And we're doing things and having impact well into our 60s, 70s, and 80s.
There you are. I can't think of you in this category, but nonetheless.
I'm in it, and I'm proud to be in it. I'm wondering if you could dig deep and think about yourself, and I know you got into politics at maybe 47.
Well, I came to Congress when I ran 46, was
46,
47.
okay. So even before that,
Yeah.
And you had 5 children. When you were a younger woman, did you have an imagination? Did you imagine your career after 50?
No, I didn't. I certainly did not involve, I had no interest or idea that I would run for public office. I was doing what I loved to do, being a mom. I just loved that. And so as that was coming to its, shall we say, they were going away to college and the rest, I was interested in doing something. I had a lot of energy. I don't know whether I attributed it to being Italian American or the family I was from.
Or just a woman?
Just a mom who has had so much, shall we say, multitasking to do. But I knew that I would be doing something because I just had all this energy and motivation. My motivation, my why to do anything sprang from being a mom because I have 5 children, my husband and I, Paul and I. 1 in 5 children in America lives in poverty, goes to sleep hungry at night. So that was really sort of my motivation.
So maybe Nancy Pelosi at 25, what did you picture yourself to be doing in your 50s? And how does that picture compare with the reality where you are now, well after 50?
You know, I didn't really even look that far forward.
I didn't either. I think that's half the reason why we're having these conversations, because a lot of women, young women especially, don't think about their careers after 50, 60, or 70, and perhaps they should.
Well, I think the world has changed in terms of possibilities for women, thanks to people like you, who, well, as an example, you as an example and a motivator in so many ways. But I remember thinking when I was young that my mother should have been in my time because she could do so many things, but she was so curtailed by her generation, by my father really even, and of course that went by the by, right, in families now. People recognize that their daughters, their sisters, their moms, their wives can do whatever they want.
Absolutely. So I know that your greatest accomplishment is your 5 incredible kids. Yeah. So putting them aside just for a moment, what would you consider your greatest accomplishment over the age of 50?
Well, I don't think anything compares with the Affordable Care Act. That was because it enabled millions of people to have access to quality, affordable care, and again, for families and for the children. And not only 20 million more, but also families to have better benefits at lower cost, more accessible, more affordable. So nothing to compare to that. I consider it a pillar, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act.
So you've spent some time in the past few years standing up to power, especially to a president. And I'm wondering, are there ways in which you feel more empowered at this stage of your life?
How can I say this? First of all, I'm excited to have this conversation with you because of what it means to other women and to younger women, because you don't know what's coming next. And I always say to young women, be ready. Just be ready. Take inventory of who you are and what you have inside of you and what you have done. Give yourself a gold star for being the unique person that you are. And so when the challenge is there, you'll be ready. And of course, little did we know that the challenge would be such a horrible devastation to our country, but nonetheless, I was ready.
You were ready, and you stepped right up. And that's a great message for young women who kind of feel like, oh, what am I doing? I feel like my career is stalling, or I'm not doing enough. Every day of your life, you're practicing for that moment where you may need to be ready.
Well, it's true, and I always say to people, know your why. Know why you are following the career that you are, or the pursuit that you may have in the community, whether it's education, saving the planet, social and economic justice, and whatever it happens to be. Know your why, know your what, know about it, so that people will ask your opinion and respect your judgment because you know about it. And then show people how you would get things done. Your why, your what, your how. And when that happens, your genuine commitment will attract people. You'll be a leader. But again, don't underestimate. Just, you say it so beautifully. Know your value. That says it all.
I love it. I think women, that's the one key that kind of gives them that.
It does, and the word that I would say, if I could give every woman something, it would be confidence.
Yeah.
Just be confident in who you are, authentically you.
So I'm wondering if there was a moment in your career after it started, the political career, where you might have given up or almost gave up, and what that was?
No, I didn't have a moment of giving up because my expectations were not, whatever I was doing at the time was what I was there to do.
It was valuable.
It was valuable. And so I hope that doesn't sound overconfident about things. But no, it's like, this is what this is. Lessons learned. No, when I lost a race for, you may not know this because I don't know if you were born yet, but I lost a race for a national chairman. It was the best thing that ever happened to me because I learned so much from what the possibilities are.
Do you remember when that race was?
Well, it was 1985.
85. So you would have been, was that the beginning of your political career?
Well, no, see, I have always been, let me just say
Sort of
this.
involved,
I was
right,
born
yeah.
into a
That's
political
right.
family. I never had any interest myself, but was considered a public service, a noble calling to help others, that we had that responsibility. So I always was volunteering in that respect. Even when my children were little, they would sing a song. We got the sealers and the stuffers in our hands. Because they were always stuffing mailers as little children when I was a volunteer in politics. Only later did I run for office because people asked me to. It never occurred to me that I would run. So in any case, when I was doing all that, I was in my late 30s. My children were in school all day, and that enabled me to do those things once they were in school all day.
I just love sitting here with the Speaker of the House twice. It never occurred to you to run. I
No.
love it.
No. Well, that's why I say to people, to young women, you don't know what's around the corner. So just be confident in who you are, know your subject so that people respect your judgment, and that you have a plan. You have a vision and you have a plan. You will succeed.
So what is your message to women in their 20s and 30s who feel that they're, and I was one of these women, and I have a strong message for them, but what is your message for women in their 20s and 30s who feel that they're in a rush, that they have a lot to get done? They need to have kids, they need to keep their career on track. What do you say to those women who feel so rushed?
Well, my first message to them always is be yourself. Just be yourself. Take stock of who you are, and then understand this. You're going to do the best you can. It's not always the best you know how, because you won't control all the factors of it. But don't make any judgment about yourself because you didn't do the best you knew how.
But what about to the women starting out in their 20s and 30s who feel like they have to get everything accomplished now?
Again, the timing of life's timing is a gift that we all receive. Women just have to make their decisions. Decisions are the most liberating acts you can make. You decide I'm going to start my family, or decide I'm going to go start my career and then come back to that. It's hard to do both at once, but it's very possible. I have 4 daughters who are professionals. They had their families and their careers at the same time, but that was their decision. And don't worry, here's, I guess my simpler message would be, your path is your path. Don't worry about following somebody else's path. What it will have its own natural tempo, and it's challenging. You know, it is challenging to multitask all the time with family and the rest. People tell me that's the hardest thing for them, is how do they allocate their time.
The path is long, too. You don't have to do everything right away.
You don't. Well, see, in my case, it was sequential because I was of another generation.
Yeah.
For my daughters, it was at the same time. And so that was different. And I say to my kids, well, now that you have children, do you have a healthier respect to your mother and father for having 5 children in 6 years? And they say, no, we think you're crazy.
There's a lot of kids.
but just in terms of your point, people make their own decisions about their timing, and they don't have to comply with somebody else's view of how that should be. It's about what works for them, and that they are ready for what they are doing, and that, well, I won't say what I was going to say. I won't say.
No problem.
The one thing that somebody said to me once when my children were little, when I was living in New York, actually, we lived in Beekman Place in New York. We have 4 children. The oldest is 4. Somebody came up to me on the street and she said, I have some advice for you. Get help.
Yeah. Yes, we all need help, especially moms. For sure. I agree with that.
I said, well, this is what I'm doing. She said, borrow money from a bank.
And get some help. So broke.
Sell your furniture, but get help.
I don't disagree. I mean, listen, it's, we're balancing a lot, but I love the fact that this list really tells young women that there is a long runway for you, and life can interrupt your career, and your career can interrupt your life, and it's okay.
It's okay, and all of these interruptions are enhancements.
That's right.
So see it as an opportunity and as a plus. Now, they asked me if I ruled the world, what one thing would I do? Mm-hmm. If I ruled the world, I would educate girls and women in the whole world, because nothing is more important than the full involvement of women in decision-making in our society, whether it's a governmental, education, military, corporate America, or the world, than to have women involved. So my message to young women would be, know your power, be confident, and understand that nothing is more important than you fulfilling your role, whatever that may be. And for politics, nothing is more wholesome than the increased participation and leadership of women in government and in politics. So when you're thinking about whether you should do this or not, know that it is necessary that you do it.
Perfect, 100%. I have a few fun things here to end up here. Is there an app that you can't live without? And that is our answer. Okay, do you use emojis when you're texting?
Constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one do you use the most?
Well, of course,
I use the
hearts.
eyes, like, surprised.
I use hearts.
You use
I have a
hearts.
lot to do with food.
Food emojis.
We have food emojis, and I do nature, things in nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Beautiful.
people, my family and my friends just say, where did you get that? Where did you get that? And I say, I don't know, it's just there on my phone. But I do think that it saves time. Emojis save time.
Yeah, they do. They say a lot.
A little spirit that comes through, and
I like it. I love doing the hearts. I send a lot of hearts to Joe. Okay, so what is the first place you went to when you were vaccinated?
the first place I went to.
Yeah, like when you were free to actually move around again.
Oh, I haven't been any place.
Okay,
I
working.
haven't been any place.
Working.
No, because the security constrains what I can
Oh,
do.
okay.
In addition to that, no, I haven't found any liberation from any of it. But it does take me to another word. Women should know that the one thing that I want them to know, that it is not a zero-sum game.
Mm-hmm.
Another woman's success is not at your expense.
Correct.
We should all have each other's
Strength
backs.
in numbers. Okay, now this is the end here, I promise, but I just have, I'm going to say something and you think of one word that comes to mind.
Okay.
And feel free to have fun.
Okay.
Millennials.
Joy to the world. Oh, one word.
That's okay. That was good as emotion. Okay. You can pick one of these. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat,
Well,
Facebook?
TikTok, my granddaughter,
Oh.
who's 12.
Okay, good. Okay.
Bella, let me just say Bella. TikTok, Bella.
Bella likes TikTok. Do you like being called grandma?
Mimi is my name.
Mimi. Okay.
I like being grandma, but Mimi is my name.
What's the word that comes to mind when I say retirement?
What's that?
Exactly. Well, I know the answers. I was going to say heels or sneakers, but we're both in heels.
Yeah.
Joe, Mika, or Willie?
Oh, depends on the hour of the time of the morning.
Okay.
All wonderful, all wonderful.
We're best together.
Well, how about Willie on Sunday morning?
There you go. And then Joe Mika, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Monday,
Thursday,
Wednesday,
Friday.
yeah, right, all me.
Madam Speaker, thank you so
Well,
much.
I have to say, if you're asking me of choice, Miko.
Well, of course. Duh. Okay. No, thank you so
Say
much.
hi to Joe.
I
Yeah.
will.
Say
Thank
hi to
you.
Joe, it's my pleasure.